Namaste. Welcome to Treepo's Cooperative Podcast, where we're bringing our community to the world and the world to our community. I'm Jay, and this week we are joined by Desiree, the laundry diva, and she'll be talking about her entrepreneurship journey, also her podcast, Laundry and Other Mysteries, as well as her passion project to bring free mobile laundry service to unsheltered and low-income residents of Colorado Springs. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Well, thanks for having me on, Jay.
So we got a lot to unpack,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to hear the story. And we'd like to start by giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself to the community.
Well, I am Desiree Hickson, the laundry diva. I own a business called Diva's Mobile Laundry, or Diva's Laundry Service. However you Google it, you'll find me. It's basically a pickup and drop-off service, and I do a wash-dry fold. So I pick up your laundry, I wash it, I fold it, and I pack it up nicely and return it home to you. But this isn't my first rodeo, as they say. I've been running some sort of business here in Colorado since I moved here. I used to have a karaoke business called Diva Does Karaoke, and I did that for 6 years. But I decided on that business after trying other entrepreneurial gigs, as they say, Tupperware. That was fun, though. I got to cook in people's kitchens and make Jell-O cakes and things like that, but that was like nuts. But I realized doing those type of businesses that, who actually owns the business gets to tell you how to run the business. So you can only advertise this way, and your website has to look like this, and you can only do this territory or this neighborhood. And that became frustrating because I'm trying to get word out about my business, but I might step on somebody else's toes. I would literally be interfering with the competition, but my competition is actually people who I'm supposed to be working with. So that became problematic. And so I decided that the best way for me to own my own business is to literally own my business. So I get to decide how to advertise, where to market, and who to do business with. And laundry wasn't my first gig. Like I said, I did karaoke for a lot of years, and that's because singing was the first thing I learned how to do. And I've always been a show person. But then, after that career kind of went away, I got a job as a laundry attendant, and I worked in a laundromat for almost 8 years. And that was a lot of fun because it was like being a bartender, but you still dealt with drunk people sometimes. Yeah. You made a lot of friends. You met a lot of interesting people. And sometimes I would mix things up, and people would be happy with it, but it wasn't for drinking. It was for, removing stains or creating, something fabulous in the laundry. And so that was a lot of fun. And so this time in my life, when I was looking for another way to start a business and looking for a way to make money, it sort of came to me, hey, I'm good at this. I'm good at laundry. How can I make money at that? And it came to me, I could have a mobile laundry service. And I've been at it for just a little bit more than a year, and it's going great. It's been really amazing. And and then this part of my journey, which is different than when I was doing karaoke, is I've been connected with so many wonderful people here in Colorado Springs. So my business didn't just blow up because people said, oh, laundry. I have had wonderful people in my corner who have spread the word. And that's basically how my business has grown, through word of mouth. And so I've been really lucky there. And so the next step, I figured, well, I'm starting to get the word out there about my business, but I do have my passion project. I want to bring the gift of laundry and time to people who normally don't get that gift, and that's generally people who can't afford it. But it would be helpful to them, and that would be, like you said, the unsheltered and low-income families. Sometimes they need that little extra boost. They need that little extra support. I mean, for me, from my understanding, laundry is about dignity in a lot of ways. And, because how you dress, what you wear, and sometimes, the other things that are encompassed in clean laundry, those are the things, that's the first impression that people have of you. So if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for an apartment, that impression is what's going to determine whether somebody says yes or no. And so enabling people to have access to clean laundry could be a very big step towards them finding other successes in their life. And but I didn't come to this idea by myself. It actually was born out of my work as a laundry attendant. One of the laundromats that I used to work for, the owner used to host a Laundry of Love project, which was a free laundry night that would be open to the public. So anybody that needed their laundry done, whether it was, just a couple pairs of socks, or whether it was, their linens for the week, they could come in, no questions asked, and get their laundry. They would do it themselves, but they can get their laundry cleaned, washed, dried, and then they could take it home, and maybe they'd come back in the next week. And it became very popular. Unfortunately, like a lot of things, because it became popular, it became problematic in the neighborhood where it was housed, and eventually had to shut down. But for me, that idea never went away. The idea that we could give dignity, hope, clean laundry to people, regardless of their income, regardless of their need, still gives me an idea that that's something that the neighborhood still could use. But with the idea of with a truck, instead of just focusing on one neighborhood once a week, we could do pop-ups in several neighborhoods throughout the week. We could partner with other community service agencies or other businesses to host a pop-up that would support certain communities, whether it's near certain parks or whether it's near certain facilities, or whether it's near a school where maybe the kids in that neighborhood, their parents might have a little bit of trouble getting access to laundry. To be able to cover the whole neighborhood, the Colorado Springs neighborhood in general.
Cool. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So I want to rewind just a little bit back to your entrepreneurship journey. Is there an inspirational moment that you can share with our audience where you felt, oftentimes guests will come on and they will say, here's a point where I felt like, ding, the light went off. This was my divine inspiration. Was there a moment for you, or maybe was it like just a process, an incremental process to where you kind of finally gave in and said, okay, I know my purpose. I'm just going to go ahead.
I guess you could say that I did when I had been out of work for about a year. And then a dramatic life event I won't go into, but I was forced to make a decision. I could go out and pound the pavement some more to keep finding work that I couldn't find, or I could create something for myself. I could just, I've done it before. I did it, had a karaoke business. Mm-hmm. Now I need to think of something to take care of myself and my children. And I don't, it came to, when it came to me, I was like, are you serious? Because I cried. I was basically begging the universe to please tell me what I can do to make money. And then it came to me like, mobile laundry. And I'm like, wait, mobile laundry? Because I had just recently gotten a vehicle, so I don't know why that didn't occur to me at first. But, service has always been a thing for me, but doing people's laundry, even though I'd done it for a number of years, still didn't occur to me as like the first thing I could make money at. But when it did, of course, I went and did some research, and I thought, oh, I could do that. And who else is doing that here? Very few people are doing that. Right. This is something I can make a niche for myself, and I could offer the service to people who maybe normally aren't catered to. And that's sort of what I've found, is that my clients, my customers, are people who have maybe thought that they wish that they had a laundry fairy,
Mm.
but then they hear about me and they're like, oh, the laundry diva, I can call her. But yeah, it kind of, when it came to me, then it was sort of what I call a no-brainer. It was like, of course, I was always good at doing the laundry when that became a business, a job. And now I can share my expertise on an individual basis with this family or that family. And I have the best clients too, because as much as I serve them, they also support me in so many other ways, not just in giving me all of their laundry, which I love. And it seems silly, but I'm an anal retentive person. So doing the laundry, like I said, now that I think on it and when I go back to how I started, it's like, that probably should have been like the very first thing I ever told myself I was going to do. You're good at this. Do that. And that's what I tell people now. Like, okay, when they're like, oh, I'm not sure what I could do if I could do what you're doing for a business. I'm like, well, find something that you're good at. Are you good at paper mache? Are you good at, mowing lawns? Whatever it is that you have the heart for, that makes you excited, then do that, because that's where you're going to find the motivation to keep going. Because there's going to be some days where, there are some days in this business where I go, wow, it's quiet today. Where am I going to find more work? And then the next day, 200 pounds of laundry ends up on my doorstep. So, and I'm ready for it because this is my skill. This is my thing. But, it's like that feast or famine. But I don't know, doing the laundry, of all the things that I've done as an entrepreneur, the laundry has been, I'd say, the most reliable thing, because people always have dirty clothes.
Okay. So I want to kind of segue that into your podcast, Laundry and Other Mysteries, which Tree Post Cooperative has had the pleasure of being guests on. I'm going to speak from my experience on the podcast. I got a very warm and welcoming vibe, and it seemed like a place to relax, confide, converse, relieve stress, and are there parallels between the way the podcast runs and the actual laundry service? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, do people come in and feel like not only am I getting the laundry clean, but maybe I'll give you some of my laundry?
Yeah. And that is sort of the feel that I wanted for my podcast. I mean, I listen to all kinds of podcasts all day, every day, whether it be true crime or history or what have you. But I wanted my podcast to be something of sort of like a community service message, but I wanted it to be comforting. Basically my podcast, we talk about laundry. So I'll ask my guests a random question about their laundry, like do they do their own, or how do they do it if they have secrets? And then we'll also talk about how they serve the community. So, I want to know about that positive piece of their business, if they're a social impact business, or if they have things that they personally do in the community, such as, make sandwiches for the homeless, or, provide clothing, or whatever else that they're doing that supports the overall Colorado Springs community, or if I'm doing a podcast with somebody outside the community, how their business impacts people where they are. And I like the idea that the laundry question kind of puts people at ease, because that's sometimes can be embarrassing. So then anything else they say after that is pretty much easy peasy. It's skating.
Yeah, it works. It works, I have to say. It works for me. So community, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out where we can find the Laundry Diva online, and as well as some community announcements, and we'll be right back, so you guys stay tuned. And thank you guys for sticking with us. So Desiree, I'll let you jump right into plugging that website, which is very important, and get into some community events.
All right. Well, if you're interested in what I do, you can find me at www.divaslaundryservice.com, or you can find me on Facebook at Divas Laundry Service. And you can catch me on Twitter at Divas Laundry. I currently have an office outside of Miriam's Place, which is at 1519 East Boulder Street. But we have a lot of community events happening there. On Thursday nights from 6 to 7, we have yoga, gentle yoga. And on Saturday mornings from 8 until 9, we have beginner's meditation. But the big thing is happening. We're celebrating the dinosaur age on the second Tuesday of this month, March 10th at 4:30. We are having our art night so there'll be dinosaur bones and some people to walk through and tell us about the history and the stories behind the bones that will be on display at Miriam's Place throughout the month of March. And I guess that's pretty much it. That's all that's really going on right now.
Okay. So thank you for being a guest. This went smoothly, as you guys can see. And again, community, if you'd like to support this content, if this is the kind of content that represents our community well, you can support through purchase, donation, or by becoming a co-owner of Tree Post Cooperative. And we'd like to remind you, as always, to think creatively, act cooperatively, and build community. Peace.